and that these men would be lucky to have them because they're still virgins, you see. So if that's the case, it sounds to me like she's assigning a lower social status.
I think it's because she thinks women are the gatekeepers.
Than she would assign to a man who was able to, I don't know, pull women in her category, right?
Andrew Wilson totally schools this modern woman whining and complaining about men being hypocrites in this debate, as Andrew Wilson slowly dismantles this woman's argument to expose the lies and double standards when it comes to looking for a mate between men and women. Let's get in.
The bloody woman.
You said that men should have the same standard body count as the women they're dating?
Yeah, so the question was if I disagreed with anything that's kind of talked about on the show. I feel like a lot of the times in the red pill community, a lot of guys want women to have a low body count, which I agree with, but then they'll have a very different standard for themselves, which, to be fair, I think body count is different for men and women. I think men can have a higher body count than women and still with it working out. But I think if you're a man who has a body count of 100 and you turn down a girl who's perfect, but she has a body count of 15, and just because you're against the body count issue, you have no room to talk.
So you think
Sorry, Brian, go ahead.
I mean, do you think it's hypocritical? You think it's unfair? What?
I think it's the same reason that you want a woman to have a lower body count. You'd kind of want the man to have a lower body count. I don't know. I mean, it's kind of hypocritical. Which, again, I still state that it's different for men and women.
Right, but you would agree. Well, I don't know if you would agree with me, but do you think that there are certain things that women want that they don't possess themselves?
Yes.
Okay, like, would it be hypocritical, for example, for a broke woman to have a preference or be attracted to, like, a really rich guy?
I think I think it would be strange for a woman. It would be really rich of her to be like, oh, I only go for millionaires, as she is making no money.
I don't think it would necessarily make her a hypocrite.
I mean, I think it would just, she wouldn't have room to talk. Like, she can't be that picky.
Okay, well, how about this one? A woman who's not a professional athlete. So you're kind of muddying the water a little bit here by saying only wanting to date this. So is that your original position? So, like, what if a guy, his general preference is towards low body count women, but he himself has a high body count?
Okay.
Well, even if I was going to say, you know what, I'll just bite on it. So the guy with a high body count, he only wants to date low body count women.
Okay. Don't
actually have a problem with this. I don't see what's wrong with it. Would it be wrong for, I shouldn't even phrase it this way. What would actually be wrong with a woman who has a preference for dating professional athletes, but she's not a professional athlete? And women do this.
Yeah.
Like, women do this frequently.
Why do they do it? They do it for the money and the fame, right?
Or they're just attracted to professional athletes. I don't know. I
mean, now we're getting down to like what the root cause of attraction in that specific case is. But I think if she was going after...
It's money and power, right?
So if she's going after money and power, then I would call her a gold digger.
But I mean, can you help who you're attracted to?
No.
Okay.
I think you can actually, I think you can work towards it.
You work towards it, okay. But if you can't help generally, like, can you right now find men you find unattractive attractive?
I can somewhat push myself into it, but I'd prefer not to.
Not generally, though, right?
Correct.
So if you only found men who were 6 feet tall attractive, is that something, you're not 6 feet tall, right?
Right.
Okay, so are you a hypocrite?
I mean, I see what you're saying. I think we're talking, like, what's the purpose of wanting a woman with a low body count, right?
Because you're more attracted to it.
You're more attracted to it, but why?
Well, let's just assume that whatever the reason is fucking ridiculous and stupid. Let's just assume it for the sake of the argument. So what? Even if it was the case that it was just a stupid and ridiculous reason why they were attracted to it, is that any less stupid and ridiculous than the reason you're attracted to men who are 6 feet or taller?
I mean, I think it's fair to want a woman with a low body count. I'm not against that.
Yeah, but that's not really the question. The question isn't whether or not you think it's fair. The question is about attraction, right? When you're talking about being attracted to men, right, who are, let's say they're over 6 feet, do you find men who are over 6 feet attractive?
I think it's, I guess then, how does he feel about the fact that he does have a high body count? And is that something that...
How do you feel about the fact that you're not 6 foot?
I didn't put in my question in there to be 6 foot,
if
but...
if I can jump in really quick.
But let's just say you're attracted to men who are 6 feet or taller. What would be actually wrong with that?
I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think it's just a little bit hypocritical. That's it.
Because you're not 6 feet or taller yourself.
No, I'm saying the body count debate is a little bit hypocritical.
Well, I don't understand the difference, though. If you're attracted to
You also
a man,
can't control your height.
if you're only, yeah, you can't control it, but that's my whole point.
You can
can't
control your body count. You
height.
can control who you put it in.
Okay, maybe, but so what? Are you attracted to black men?
I mean, I can find them conventionally attractive, but they're not my type. Typically, no.
Okay, and if there's white people who are not attracted to black men, is that somehow wrong because that's an immutable characteristic?
I don't think it's wrong. No.
Yeah, so
but body count is something you can control.
You just said you can control this thing, right? But you can't control height or things like this. It's like, but you can't control skin color either, and that could ruin your chances for conventional attractiveness, can't it?
Right. You can't control your skin color. You can't control your height. And
So you can't control.
but you can control your body count.
Sure. But what if you're attracted to women who have a low body count? You just don't want to have a low body count yourself.
I mean, I think it would just be a little bit hypocritical because the reason you want a woman with a low body count is because she is all yours. You have like the privacy of her. I'm trying to look for the specific word. I can't think of it, but like, she's all yours. She hasn't been passed around by a bunch of men. I wouldn't want a man who's been passed around by a bunch of women. You know what I mean?
Okay. So you're saying you wouldn't find that attractive?
A man who's been passed around by a bunch of women, not necessarily. I'm not saying he has to have a body count of 0.
I think that's fair. I think that there's some women who wouldn't find that attractive.
Yeah.
But I think the overwhelming majority of men don't find it attractive when women have high body counts.
I agree.
And so here's where we run into this kind of issue. So that woman, there was a woman, you just heard her talk, who said, "You would be lucky to be with a woman like me. You're still a virgin." It seems that she's equating status with men who are able to have lots of sex with beautiful women. That's really strange. Why would women, do you think, equate status with men who have sex with many beautiful women, but also give them a lower status if they've had sex with no women?
It's because he's not powerful. That's why. When women are attracted, because women want to date up, right? They don't want to date down, they want to date up. So they want you to be taller, stronger, bigger, more money, more status, more all of this, increase their social circle. All of these things are benefits to women, but they also serve a practical purpose. All of these things make that man capable. It makes him powerful. It means if he wants to do something, he can actually do it. A virgin doesn't look like that. Like if you're 35 and you're 40 years old, to a woman's eyes, to a virgin, you're not capable. And then if you're still a virgin, well, why couldn't you get a woman? So does that look powerful? Power is attractive to women. Not being powerful is not attractive to women. It's not. I mean, she can. And then the thing about what this woman's saying, passed around by other women, I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. Like, guys are the one doing the passing around, not the women. Like, you could go to a hip-hop concert, rock concert, whatever. It's always a whole bunch of women lined up to try and meet the superstar trying to get railed or whatever. It doesn't go the other way around. There's not a bunch of guys. I mean, there's some simps and stuff like that, but the dynamic isn't the same. All of those guys lined up aren't going to all get some trying to talk to Taylor Swift or whatever. No, It doesn't work that way. So her whole idea, she doesn't she thinks it's hypocritical. It's because she's looking at each gender the same, and they're not. Men and women are not the same. And men look for women who are not passed around because they're less damaged. They're less ran through. They're more pure. You get more of the full woman. But even if a guy has sex with 1 woman, 10 women, 100 women, he can still treat that woman respectfully. He can still look after her. He can still provide for her. He can still do all of the things that that woman wants him to do. But it's not the same way in reverse. There is a consequence that is different between effing 100 people, between men and women, for a reason. And it's a very practical one. So it's not hypocritical for guys to have high body counts and want women with low body counts. It's because men and women are different. But hit that like button and notification bell if you're enjoying the video. And if you want to help support the channel, check out the link in the description and let's get back in.
I wouldn't give him a high status. I don't think like that woman.
I'm asking about women. Why is it that women seem to give a higher status to men?
I can't give you an answer because that's not the way I think.
Women, and give a lower status to men who have sex with no women.
You're asking me to explain. You're asking me to explain the reason why a woman thinks the way she does when I don't think anything like her.
Did she say beautiful women?
Beautiful.
When she said
that she said that she was conventionally attractive, and that the other woman was conventionally attractive, and that these men would be lucky to have them because they're still virgins, you see. So if that's the case, it sounds to me like she's assigning a lower social status.
I think it's because she thinks women are the gatekeepers.
Than she would assign to a man who is able to, I don't know, pull women in her category, right?
I guess she's the hypocrite because she's thinking that women are the gatekeepers of sex, or sorry, schmex. Women are the gatekeepers of schmex, but at the same time, that men, like, she's saying the same thing, but for both sexes.
Do you smoke?
Somewhat.
Yeah, you shouldn't. Does that make me a hypocrite?
How do you feel about it?
That you shouldn't smoke.
Okay,
Bad for you.
so I think we all do things that we know are bad for us.
Yeah, does it make me a hypocrite, though? I'm smoking.
I think a little bit.
If I tell my 10-year-old not to smoke, am I a hypocrite?
No, I guess not. Because
Why? How come I'm not a hypocrite when I tell my 10-year-old not to smoke, but only a hypocrite when I tell you not to?
No, I mean, if you told both of us not to.
I feel like it also comes with age, like when you're legally allowed to.
Hang on. Before the sisterhood kicks in, I just want to finish the exchange.
I mean,
10 years old, why is it if I tell my 10-year-old not to smoke, even though I'm a smoker, that I'm not a hypocrite?
I think it's because you have a responsibility to instill knowledge and to instill values and to instill like behaviors into your child. You have a responsibility over this kid. You don't have any responsibility over me.
it's also leading by
Here's
example.
where the problem comes in, is that you misunderstand what the word hypocrite means. Hypocrite does not mean I am doing the same thing I'm telling you not to do. That's not hypocrisy. Hypocrisy requires pretentious acting. That's what hypocrisy.
Not believing what you're saying.
If you're really fat and you're on a treadmill and you look over at a guy who's really fat and you say, hey, you shouldn't be so fat. That's not healthy for you. There is no hypocrisy there. He's correct. That guy is fat. He does need to lose weight. The status of you being fat has no bearing on that whatsoever. It's only if publicly I said smoking is bad, let's say, and then privately I was smoking away, then I would be a hypocrite.
So it's not believing the things that you're putting out there.
Yeah. There
Right.
would be a sense of acting, yes.
Yeah, Andrew Wilson is exactly right. You see this with politicians. You see this with a lot of influencers where they put on this veil, this image. They pretend to cast a role. They pretend to be something that they're not, while virtue signaling at the same time. While in secretly, yeah, they're exactly the thing that they claim to hate, but they're just hating on everyone else and then talking smack at the same time while pretending to be something else. That lie, that's what makes you the real hypocrite. I mean, yeah, if a fat person says, yeah, you shouldn't be fat, well, maybe he's saying that because he knows. Maybe because he knows, like, hey, I'm fat and it sucks. Like, I'm trying to fix my own problem, but, you know, you don't want this. You know, that doesn't make him a hypocrite. That makes him accurate. Like, I know from experience this is a bad thing, and I'm telling you because I'm trying to help you dodge the bullet. I mean, that's easily one way that could be interpreted. So, you know, people, I think, you know, shoot off too quick, especially in social media, calling, oh, you're a hypocrite. But meanwhile, it could be someone just trying to give you advice. Like, bro, yeah, this really sucks. Like, you don't want to do it, because otherwise, the only person you could learn from is basically doesn't exist, because every human's fallible. Every human has made mistakes, errors, and stuff like that. You learn from them and you move on. But the fakes, the cons, the ones who don't want to own it, the ones who want to pretend, who want to put on a face, yeah, those are the real hypocrites. And usually they're trying to sell you something or get you to believe something you don't want to believe. But thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments what you thought about what Andrew Wilson had to say, totally schooling this woman in this debate. Thanks again, like and subscribe, and I will see you on the next one.